For decades, there was a roadmap, one that lived rent-free in the heads of almost every ambitious Indian professional. Study hard, get a visa, work abroad, settle abroad. Done. It was the ultimate upgrade. The American dream was not just a cliche, it was a target. H-1B, Canadian PR, the coveted UK skilled worker visa, these were the golden tickets. But what if I told you that between 2025 and 2026, that whole roadmap has been quietly, methodically bulldozed? Today we are going to look at the raw data, why the traditional NRI pathway is now a high-cost, high-risk, low-reward gamble. And more importantly, what Indian professionals must do instead. Because while one door is slamming shut, a massive window in India is being blown wide open. Let's start with the bloodbath. The bloodbath numbers for the US, which still accounts for nearly 72% of all H-1B visa holders. In financial year 2025, H-1B approvals for the top 7 Indian IT firms collapsed to just 4,573. Let me just put it in the perspective for you that it is a 70% plunge since 2015 and a 37% fall just from 2024. Those big firms like Infosys and Wipro, they have top 5. They are not top 5 anymore. They have been replaced at the top by Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Google. But this is only half of the story. The US government has quietly made it economically impossible. Under the new policies, the US now mandates a one-time $100,000 fee for new H-1B petitions, beg your pardon. Read that again. Listen to that again. $100,000 for just the application fee. But surely the other dream destinations are holding up, right? Canada, the UK. Let's look at Canada. For years, we thought of it as the backup, friendly, accessible, with a clear path to PR. Well, that highway is now blocked. Official data shows that over 2.1 million temporary residents in Canada are facing expired or expiring work permits through 2026. And here is the kicker. Nearly half of those expired permits are held by Indian nationals. They are held by Indian nationals. Even worse, a Statistics Canada report found that only about 70% of Indian international graduates found work within 2 years, compared to 80% of their domestic peers. People are working as cooks or delivery drivers just to survive, while watching their PR dreams evaporate. What about the UK? It seems like a glimmer of hope, right? Not exactly. The UK is shifting to an earned settlement model. If you are hoping for permanent residency, the typical 5-year timeline is effectively stretching to a decade, unless you are in a high priority sector earning top tier money. Starting January 2026, they have also mandated stricter secure English language tests, SELT, for skilled workers. So the traditional 3 pillars, US, Canada, UK, are leaning, cracking, or collapsing. Now I know what you are thinking. But what about the new visa with Australia? I heard about MATES, MATES. Yes, there is a new player, Australia's MATES, Mobility Arrangement for Talented Early Professionals scheme. Opened a ballot for Indian graduates in late 2025. It offers 3,000 slots for a 2-year visa with full work rights and no employer sponsorship. That is fantastic for a short-term stint. But ask yourself, is 3,000 slots enough for a country of 1.4 billion people? While Australia is welcoming us, it is hardly a mass migration strategy. It is, at best, a small lifeboat. This brings us to the quiet truth that the news headlines are missing. The reverse migration has already begun. A recent SB NRI study shows that nearly 60% of NRIs across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and Singapore are considering returning to India. In Australia and Singapore, that number jumps to almost 80%. This isn't just retirement talk. People are moving. And here is the game changer. The reason you should listen to this current talk closely. India has fundamentally changed. We are not talking about the India of 2015. The strategy must shift from looking for a salary abroad to leveraging global experience to capture the Indian growth, the India growth story. The numbers back this up. I'm not talking in the air. According to the State of India's Digital Economy, SIDE, SIDE 2026 report says that India is to become the world's fifth most digitized economy, overtaking Germany, France, Japan, and the UK on key AI and digital metrics. We are the world's fourth largest exporter of digitally delivered services, and we have the second largest AI talent pool on the planet. That's amazing. Our tech ecosystem is exploding. India has produced 131 unicorns to date, adding 9 in 2025 alone. IT spending is projected to hit 176.3 billion in 2026, 10.6% faster than the global average. Our GDP is roughly $4.3 trillion, and we are on the track to hit 5 trillion in 2027, becoming the world's third largest economy. And the government is finally paving the red carpet. Yes, in the budget 2026, the Indian government raised the equity investment limit for NRIs to 10%, with an overall limit for persons resident outside India at 24%. They announced a 5-year tax holiday on capital goods for returning manufacturers. And they are pushing digital economy zones in smaller cities to lower startup costs for NRI-led ventures. Meanwhile, NRIs sent home an estimated $130 to $136 billion in remittances in 2025. This is the largest in the world. Let's look at the real story now. Consider the founders of the fintech startup, Belong. Former executives from Neo and Goldwise saw the pain points NRIs face when trying to manage money back home. Instead of opening a consulting shop in Delaware, they came back to India. In 2025, they launched Belong, an app built exclusively for NRIs to invest and save in India. Within months, the company raised $5 million in seed funding, led by Elevation Capital, valuing the company at the staggering $500 million. Or take the Reddit post that went viral in 2025. An NRI who returned from the US after 10 years and built a 12 crore rupee asset portfolio in Pune through real estate, stocks, and entrepreneurship, generating passive income of roughly 1.5 lakh a month. This, I think, is not a sacrifice. This is a smarter calculus. So here is what you must do if you are an Indian professional, whether you are in Bangalore or in Boston. Number 1, stop chasing the disappearing green card. Instead, chase the value. If you go abroad, go for a temporary stint. Get the global exposure for 2 to 3 years. Get the brand name on your resume and then exit. Exit and enter India when your leverage is highest. Number 2, build your India operations setup. The regulations are now NRI friendly. Use the Gift City framework to bring your capital back without friction. Use the portfolio investment scheme to invest directly in the Indian markets. Number 3, think like an entrepreneur, not an employee. If you have worked in Silicon Valley or London, you have seen the future. Bring those SaaS, AI, or fintech models back to the Indian domestic market, which has 1.4 billion consumers. Start a venture. Don't accept a salary. The NRI dream, the old one of permanent exile in a western suburb, has become a financial trap riddled with visa anxiety and mental health costs. The new dream is the global Indian, one who moves fluidly between Mumbai and Manhattan, using India as their base camp, while the world works for them. India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. The question isn't if you should return. The question is, will you return in 2026 when the equity is still cheap? Or will you arrive in 2030 chasing the trends you missed? The door is open. The data says run towards it. Yes, run towards it. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time with another episode of Current Interest. Thank you, goodbye, good luck, and God bless.